Morning YouTube, how are we all doing? Pete here. I'm out on the Himalayan, just been to the breakfast club with the last of the summer wine. Gentlemen, so we've had a breakfast. I've just been just having a little ride out now, just making my way back home, just down a few of the lanes. Plan is to pick a bit of the TET up, just up here, and then head up to a place called Natter and have a look at that. So there's a little bit of off-road, gentle off-road here. It's not too bad, to be honest with you. If I can find the road and track where I'm supposed to go. I've been up here once before and I should know my way around, really. Tell you what, it weren't too warm early on, it's bloody boiling now. I just walked up to have a look at a little chapel that I wanted to have a look at and explore, and it's very, very warm, and I think this is the path up here. So you have to be a bit careful because there's people on horses, so can't come flying up here. Yeah, this is part of the TET down in Cornwall, so we're on it now. I haven't got much tread on my rear tyre, so well, you get a bit of spin on the back wheels there. I think there's a gate just up here, so we have to go through. And I might be able to manage it without getting off the bike. I know there's a gate somewhere along here. This is part of also the Saints Way, which is a walking route, which I've walked. It goes from Padstow across to Foy. I mean, it's quite a nice little track, really. It's not too rutted. The trouble is, at the moment, because it's warm, bloody beasts to get eaten alive. It's overgrown, will I? There we go. I've got some dog food in my back. I've got my top box on the back, so I'm not really kitted up for off-roading, to be honest, but a bit of fun. Just a bit of a gentle little track, this one. And in front you can see Natter, which is a Neolithic Bronze Age settlement. It's obviously a tor, so it's a hill as well. It's brilliant views from up there, fantastic views. I know there's a gate down here because I've been along here, so I know there's a gate, so it must be down the bottom here somewhere. Probably me knowing me, I'll come early around the corner and ooh. I tell you what, since I've done the head bearings, I didn't notice it before. I mean, there was no problem with it, but I've stripped it down and degreased the head bearings. It's very light on the steering now. There's no play or free movement, but it's just, it seems light. I've got a bit less air pressure in the front tyre at the moment. Should really lower the back but it's so dry, it's like being on concrete anyway, so. Like I say, the only problem down here, it is a walkway as well, so there's often walkers, horse riders, so mountain bikers, all sorts down there, so you can't really, here's the gate, so you can't really go flying through here. Well, not flying through anyway, I won't go flying through anyway. My days of flying through are well over. Oh. It's a gate I can push open. I do like these gentle off-road. I've got a four-wheel drive coming this one. Cheers. Nice smoke on a quad bike. Could be the farmer, I don't know. He looked a bit too smart for the drop on that quad for a farmer. I think he's just out for a bit of fun. That'd be good fun, wouldn't it? A quad bike, I must admit. And there's another gate which I know comes inwards, so I'm going to have to get off here and sort this one out, I think. Oh. I've got my good jeans on as well, sort of motorbike jeans. It's alright, I just tried it and the gate actually goes. I'm always doing it on this Himalayan. Put the kickstand up, Peter. Yeah, so this is Himalayan Tour, part of the TET, Trans-European Trail. And if you're ever down this way and you're doing this, it's well worth stopping and having a little wander up Himalayan Tour. There's a little car park there, even if you just stop for a break and walk up to the top, because you can see right across to the north coast of Cornwall some beautiful views. And even in holiday season, this sort of place keeps quite quiet. You see up in front of me. Oh, I just had a vegetarian breakfast. Not that I'm vegetarian, but I had a lovely vegetarian breakfast. And it's just repeated on me as I went over that bump. So that's Himalayan Tour up there. Fantastic views. I'm not going to go up there. But if you, I mean, you've got fantastic views from up here, so. I'm enjoying the saddlebags ride in Ireland. I must admit, he's whetting my appetite to get to Ireland on the bike. It's something there's so much I want to do actually. Obviously the cost factors, I can't do too much, being a sort of semi-retired now, so I do have to watch the pennies, but I must admit I fancied going to Ireland, my sort of riding country. I'm not really interested to go on the fast road so much. Good job with my 2 Royal Enfields. I must admit, I've thought about getting another bike, a bit more quicker bike, shall we say, for bigger roads, but I think the trouble is it's going to sit in the garage for most of the year and I'm not going to use it. But I mean, if I could pick up something nice, a bit of a classic bike, you know, something nice to keep, I might consider. I sort of had a look at a couple of Fireblades that were on sale. Not went and had a look, I just had a look at them. I used to have a VTR and I used to enjoy that, and I must admit I wouldn't mind something like that. But am I going to ride it that much? I don't know. But this is nice. And I must admit, this Himalayan, it's a great little bike. And if they bring a 450 out, then I might be tempted, I must admit. Whether I'd keep this one as well, I've sort of got quite attached to her. I've had a few problems with it, don't get me wrong, there's been a few little issues with it. Namely the stalling one, which sort of is very intermittent, and I've sort of done a few things to it and have improved it, but it still does it occasionally, so I don't know. I think it's one of them things I'm going to have to live with to a certain extent. We'll go back through Luxillian. I mean, these lanes are very quiet, but occasionally you'll meet a delivery van or a tractor and trailer. And as I say, I've said to numerous people, you know, what sort of bike would you want to be on if you've got to get out of the way, you've got to dive in the hedge a little bit. I know one thing, I don't think I'd want to have a, you know, £8,000–9,000 motorcycle and have to dive in the hedges with it. It's just something I wouldn't, you know, you can soon lose your balance with it and topple it over and cause some damage. I mean, I've dropped this a few times, at least this is not a big issue for me. If I do drop it, I can get it up, it'll get this back on its feet easy enough, and it's quite industrial. I mean, I must admit, when I was doing the front repair, I was on the drive, and it fell off the stand. And to be honest, it's all it's done was just a little scrape on the bark buster, which is plastic anyway. It's done no other damage whatsoever at all. So I mean, I just worry if I had something that was worth a lot of money, I'd be, you know, heartbroken to cause that damage. Well, I suppose a bit sort of head home now. I'm just heading back towards Luxillian, which is to the left, and I live about 2 miles from Luxillian, village of Luxillian. But I must admit, these Enfields, I think you've got to give them time. Like, the engine's a lot smoother now. On this one it's done 3,600 miles. Still not a lot, to be honest with you. And they just seem to get better as the miles go on. I guess they're not going to be, the longevity on them's not that great. They're quite cheap. Well, I don't know, I say that, I don't know. I mean, this bike, I give it a wash every so often. and then I'll give it a good spray. Even in the summertime, I'll give it a good spray with like a maintenance spray on all the moving parts, try and keep the rust at bay. I mean, living close to the coast, there's obviously a chance you get sea air, which can be a bit salty, so but yeah, I think if you look after them, do your maintenance. I oil the chain, put some oil on the chain. I use gear oil, I don't use nothing fancy. I've always used gear oil. Gives a little bit of a smell on the, but works perfectly well, no problem at all. I'll tell you what, I've got a GoPro. These batteries on a GoPro, they're rubbish, they don't last very long. I like my last video with the battery died. I'm just looking at this battery and it's getting down low. I've got spares. When you're riding, I mean it just means it's faffing about. I've got to stop and do it. So I'll bring you back in a little while. It's going through what they call the Luxillian Valley. Great place to come for a walk. Plenty of places to park. There's a river runs along the edge of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful, tranquil place. It was very industrialised back in the Victorian era and before that. I don't know exact dates, but around about the Victorian times, lots of mining and clay working, and actually in the woods you can come across lots of industrial areas. I'll probably do a vlog about it actually, because it's really interesting when I've learned a little bit more about it. But it's a very sort of magical place through here, very magical. Nice and cool in the woods as well on a summer's day. Lovely, lovely. Again, another narrow little lane down here in Cornwall. Car park's pretty full. No, it's not. Let's say that, it's about half a dozen cars. And they've got a viaduct just down here. And there's a railway line that used to run into the valley. It runs through the valley still, but there used to be obviously an industrial railway line as well, for carting clay and ore away. And I guess that's how if you look above us now, the viaduct goes up there. You can see it there, just going through it now. Nice little river on the right hand side. Beautiful place, beautiful bit of woodland. Again, this is a place where it's pretty much single track and you've got stone walls either side, so you have to be wary. You meet something coming the other way. I'm not saying you couldn't do it on another bike, of course you could, but it's ideal for the Himalayan, I'll tell you that now. And like I say, the sort of riding I do, which most of my riding is, I'd say about 90% of my rides do involve like this sort of thing, this sort of type of woodland and single track roads. No giraffes on this one, as the all-year motorcyclist. I keep looking. I found one which was in a neighbour's garden, giraffe, but I've not found any down this way. I did send him a picture of some strawberries, because he always seems to be tame, always seems to be on the hunt for strawberries. Well, we've been growing some. We've had a wonderful crop of strawberries. He comes from my old neck of the woods up that way anyway, Cambridgeshire, Bedfordshire. This is called Prideaux Manor on the right hand side. Obviously you can't see it. What's this for? So yeah, we're just heading back into my village now, so just down the lane. So it's just a little shortcut I took with a little bit of off-road there, back there, so cuts a couple of miles off the return trip. It's an unmarked road, so it's on the Ordnance Survey map, but it's not designated as a anything. So here we are, back in my little village where I live, or hamlet really. We've got those shops, there's a chapel, and there's not a pub. There's a pub just down the road, but there's no pub, which is really disappointing. I can't believe it's actually a dry village. It's a Methodist village, and I can't believe my wife made me buy this cottage in a dry town, dry village. Well, it used to be. But here we are, we're home now. Anyway, you take care of yourselves. Speak to you all soon. Bye for now.